Hello, and welcome to the first race of the Torpedo League Super Formula Season 2. Today's Grand Prix is the Pacific Grand Prix. This is currently practice before the main race, before qualifying in the race, which will be a 21 lap race, I think. On Suzuka. And this is the first race of the season. It's going to be a very close season, I think. If there's anything like what pre-season testing was like, it's going to be a very fun season. Commentate on, and for you guys at home to watch. So I think I'll stay quiet now and wait until not pre-season testing, sorry. Wait until it starts. I'll wait until qualifying starts, and I'll get back to you then. So in the practice so far, it looks like the Nexus is on top, followed by Ducky Racing, Benelux, Porsche, Bad Bull, FDA Mission Winnow, expect this to be very all the teams, and we're going to see which teams have got the strongest lineup. Will it be Nexus? Will it be Ducky Racing? Will it be Benelux? Will it be Porsche? Will it be Bad Bull? Will it be Ferrari? Driver Academy Mission Winnow? Personally, I don't know, but I'm hyped to find out. Practice should be starting in a matter of minutes. No, not practice, sorry. Qualifying should be starting in a matter of minutes. We see multiple cars facing the wrong direction on the track. Are they struggling for grip out on track at the minute? Or just trying to find the limits of where they can go on the track with curbs. If you want to put your prediction in the comment who you'd like to win or who you think would win, that'd be very cool. After what we saw in pre-season testing, I think it's going to be close at the top with the baby F1. Maybe on top this season, as that's where they were last season. No, not last season, sorry. In pre-season testing. So will we see it again? What's Wolf been doing to parts on the track? Going to pit. So we've only got 5 drivers out on track at the minute during practice. Marique, TM Ducky, Yano, Suwon and Elmix. Everyone else in the pits waiting for the start of qualifying. Qualifying is starting in 7 seconds, 6 seconds, 5 seconds. Who's going to be first? First out is... who's in the lead out of the pack. It is BBR Huber out first. We'll go on board with him as he's going to be the first to set a pole lap, I think, round Suzuka. So we'll go on board with him. Or is he letting the others through? He is. Is he going to try and get the toe? So currently out in front is Marique, going to be the first to set a lap. Heading now around the final couple of bends, really, before he starts his qualifying lap for the first, and this will be the first qualifying lap of the season. We've got 8 teams. We've got Nexus, Benelux Porsche, CRL, Bad Bull, FDA Mission Winnow, Ducky Racing and Aston Martin. And over the next 10 weeks there'll be 10 races, starting here with the Pacific Grand Prix, ending with the Japanese Grand Prix, So let's go. We'll stay on board with Marik for the first lap and see how it goes. And of course that will be fastest through the first sector as he's the first one to set a lap. Does Jarno beat him through the first sector, or are they similar? I think Marik is a bit faster, but that going off that little excursion into gravel then would not have cost him, a bit of time. It's going to be like through the second sector split. Got a feeling Jarno might be up on him, as Marik's had this trip through the gravel, but we'll have to wait and see. And through the middle sector it's going to be currently a 1 minute 21. Let's see what Jarno does. Jarno's slower through the middle sector. Oh, and Marik span. It's not good for him in this qualier. So Jarno's gonna have the fastest lap of the quali session with a 1 minute 39.4. What does Marik do? A 1 minute 50, but that is not very competitive as he did spin. Jake Marsh sets a 1 minute 40, which goes 6/10 behind Jarno. Who's next? TM Ducky's starting a lap now. TM Ducky seems to have some quite good pace in pre-season testing, and the baby goes top by nearly 2 seconds, and someone goes second by 1.3 seconds. BBR Huber's 5th by 3.6 seconds. Some with TM Ducky getting a slight tow from his teammate. Also getting some slight dirty air, probably going through the corners. To be hampering his performance a bit. But going down the straight, I think he'll get a very good tow from his teammate, which might help him beat the baby's lap time. For Pearl, put him up there for the fight, for the win. Or will this be like a normal F1 season with Mercedes domination and Lewis Hamilton? Hopefully not. That won't be very fun to commentate on. But the tow TM Ducky's getting at the moment from Jake is going to be helping him, and he's got the quickest middle sector because of that. Oh, and that's a bit wide there from TM Ducky, who's done a Marik but not done as bad, not gone as bad. You have to go for another lap, and that's 6 currently. So he's definitely gonna have to go again. We've got the baby still on top by nearly 1.2 seconds to Marik, who's got Shuan behind him by 0.046 seconds. He's got Jarno behind him. Behind Jarno's Jake Marsh. Behind Jake Marsh is Wolfbane. Behind Wolfbane there is TM Ducky. Behind TM Ducky there's Elmix and BBR Huber and Bunnies Bunnies is the only one to have not set a lap time. Oh, and the baby goes wide. It's gonna have hampered. He's out. At least it's only an out lap. And Marie on a flying lap now. And Bunnies goes 7th with a lap time of 1:39.5. Is this lap going to beat the baby? Marie's down by 0.015 seconds. Going through the middle sector, can he gain it back on the final in the final sector? Oh, he's closed the gap by about half a second, but it's still not enough to get pole. Schuman's on a lap. Can he close that gap up to the baby and Marique? And he's down by 3 seconds, nearly 4 seconds. That means he must have made a mistake going through the second sector. And Jarno's up by a tenth going through the first sector. This will put him about third. He's got his teammate behind him. Heading towards the end of the second sector now. Will this be another purple, or will it be down by, or will it be a red sector, or will it just be a green sector? We'll have to wait and find out. As he floors it down the straight. Not using any overtake. Maybe saving it for a faster hot lap right at the end of the session. And he's not purple, but it's a personal best. And BBR Huber jumps up to third with a 138.2. What does Jarno do? Jarno does a 139.7.9, which puts him to P3, 8 tenths behind him. 2 tenths behind his teammate, and 8 tenths to pole sitter the baby, who's currently on a lap. Will he go faster? He does with a 136.6. That's nearly a second behind P2, Marique. Tim Duckiani's out lap, trying to get as much space as he can. And there's Marique. Oh, Marique hits the barrier, and he's 10th down on his last lap. We've got 40 seconds remaining. Yeah, Marique. So that means Marique is not going to get pole in this session. Jarno is currently on a lap. He's got over a second and a half, 1.2 seconds to gain to take pole. This will be his final pole lap. And he's 2 tenths down on his personal best, so not looking like it's gonna be pole for Jarno. So I think the baby might have it in the bag, and he stays P3. BB Huber stays P4. Ewan keep an eye on Ewan. He's got to gain nearly 1.7 seconds to get pole. And Bunny moves up to 4 with a 138.0. What does Ewan's do? 6 seconds down, so not what Jake Marsh. What can he do? He's got to gain 2 seconds on this lap to try and catch up to the baby in first. And he's down by 3 tenths of a second. He's gonna be like, Team Ducky moves up to pole. That's pole for Team Ducky. That's P1 for Team Ducky, P2 for the baby. So it's P1 for Team Ducky, P2 for Baby F1, P3 for F1 Marique. Oh, and that's a jump start for Marique. It was jump the start. not good at all there for Marique. Ooh. Oh, and that's the baby getting up into the lead with a bit of argy-bargy there. With Team Ducky. That's the baby leading from Team Ducky to Wolfbane, Shuan to Yarno, to Bunnies, to Emmerich, to BBR Huber, F1 Marique, and Jake Marsh. A bit different strategy going on between the baby F1 and F1 TM Ducky, I meant, sorry, with soft tyres for TM Ducky, but super soft tyres for the baby F1. And can TM Ducky do something going down the straight? Oh, he tries to go down the, thinks about going down the inside and forces the baby F1 wide, and TM Ducky takes the lead. And that's the baby F1 off into the gravel, losing 4 positions because of one of TM Ducky going diving down the inside and forcing him off the track a little bit. So P1 for TM Ducky, P2 Wolfbane, P3 Yarno, P4 Shuan, P5 Emmerich, who's crashed into. Let me start that again, sorry. P1 TM Ducky, P2 Wolfbane, P3 Yarno, P4 Shuan, P5 Bunny, P6 the baby F1, P7 BBI Huber, P8 F1 Marique, P9 Emmerich, P10 Jake Marsh. And that's nearly a 1.2 second gap from TM Ducky back to Yarno, who's got a 9/10 gap back to Wolfbane, who's got a second 1.3 seconds back to Shuan, who's got 0.23 back to Bunnies. Oh, and what's that happened with the baby F1? Going very slowly. The winner in pre-season testing, what's happened here? And the baby F1 has left the session, not good at all. That's TM Ducky leading to Yarno, to Wolfbane, to Shuan, to Bunnies, BBR Huber, F1 Marie, Emmerich, and Jake Marsh. Several which is close in the midfield. Close to pole with BBR Huber and F1 Marie. Maybe Yarno and Wolfbane. Is it going to be a race of overtakes or will it be a race of strategy today? And the reason that F1 baby has left has left the session due to internet failures. Oh, and that's Emmerich off into the gravel and into the barrier. Will he continue on? And he's left the room. So only 8 drivers left. We've got TM Ducky, 5, who's 4 tenths behind him is Yarno, who's 3 tenths behind, he's got Wolfbane. 3 seconds back now to Suwon. Oh, who's off into the gravel. Oh, and BBR Huber going a bit wider on that corner and let F1 Marie go past. Bunnies has got Jake Marsh all closing in. But TM Ducky's pulled back out the gap over Yarno. We've got Wolfbane closing in 4 tenths. 3 tenths now, the gap between Yarno and Wolfbane. And there's a different strategy here going on between Wolfbane and Yarno, with Yarno on the super soft tyres and Wolfbane on the softs. Oh, there's 4 tenths between the leaders now. Will we see a massive switch for the lead? as we see Jarno going down around the outside, but Christian Ducky at the inside holds on to it. Christian Ducky holds on to the lead with Wolfbane right behind her. If one of these make a mistake, they could drop back. With 8 seconds back now to BBR Huber. Mistake could cost the win here between all of these. Oh, and that's Wolfbane getting past Jarno. Told you. Oh, that's Jarno thinking about diving down the inside, but then thinking against it, going actually into the corner. And then Wolfbane and Jarno fighting, and let Team Ducky pull out a gap over Jarno and Wolfbane. Close battle between Marique and Stewartson in the midfield, and 4 seconds. And Jake Marsh is in last by 18 seconds to leader. His teammate Team Ducky. Oh, Wolfbane and Jarno are close. Oh, and that's a spinning car. That's Bunny facing the wrong way. Not very good there. 2 seconds now between Wolfbane and Jarno going down the main straight. See Jarno using overtake to try and get past Wolfbane. And sends it down the inside into the corner. That's Jarno back into P2, followed by Wolfbane in P3. BBR Huber P4, F1 Marie P5, Stewartson P6, Jake Marsh P7, Bunny's P8. And Jarno and Wolfbane fighting have let Team Ducky pull out a 1.5 second gap over them. Closest battle on track at the minute is between BBR Huber and Marique. Marique tries to send it down the outside. Jarno's pulled out a slight lead over Wolfbane, who are all three of them are pulling sort of being closed, slightly pulling out a lead over Marique. He's got BBR Huber breathing down his back, overtake down the back straight. Will this bring him closer enough to get him to go down the back to an overtake going down the main straight? Possibly. Thinks about diving it down the inside to let Marique know that he is there. Oh, he thinks about sending it, but then gets as the door shut on him. This is not going to help him going down the main straight, and he's going to let him leave him vulnerable to Stewartson, who's using overtake in the slipstream now of BBR Huber. Pulls out and down the inside. So that's Stewartson up to P5, BBR Huber down to P6. There's now a 2 second gap between Team Ducky and Jarno, who's got an 8-tenth gap between the two of them, and Wolfbane's got a 1.2 second time penalty. And Bunny's has got a 0.9 second, 9/10 time penalty. The worst of ties at the moment seems to be probably Team Ducky on them, racing softs at the front. They seem to be having a lot of pressure put on them, probably followed by Jarno. And what's BBR Huber doing? Going around in first gear. Moving up to second now. What's going on here? And Bunny's flies past, so that's BB Huber now into last. It's not good at all, and that he's back up to speed now, BBR Huber. What's he? So that's Team Ducky brake issues again for BBR Huber. He had them during pre-season testing, which is not good. And he's slowing down the main straight. Are we going to see? Is this going to be our third retirement of the race? But now he's speeding back up. So I hope not. Hopefully this is not our third retirement of the race. Hopefully we can keep Now it's like it is BBR Huber retiring from the race with a brake issue. As I suspected, I was correct. Yep, BBR Huber has left the session. So that means brake failure has been terminal. The grid seems to be very spread out. The closest gap being between Yarnell and Wolfbane, who's closing in. Wolfbane still has his is now a 10th penalty. Basically 0.1 second penalty. Trying to close in Yarnell. 0. Probably not this lap, but probably the next lap we'll see Wolfbane get past. Oh, and that's Wolfbane going off a bit wide. I bet that's a side relief for Yarnell. That's going to be a couple more laps now. But Team Ducky's not going to be breathing a side relief, as Yarnell's closing on him bit by bit every lap, biting away at his lead. The biggest gap currently is between Bunnies and Jake Marsh, 15.3 seconds, and the smallest gap currently is between Team Ducky and Yarnell for the lead with 1.29 seconds. And it seems like Yarnell's got better tyres than Team Ducky. So will we see it being a strategy race more than an overtake race? So we'll keep. Will we see either of them pitting anytime soon on the 22 lap race? And that's Team Ducky into the pits. Yarnell's staying out. Wolfbane's staying out. But Marique. And Marique is staying out. That's Stewardson in. Jake Marsh stays out. And that's Team Ducky out in P4 ahead of his teammate. And is that Bunnies into the pits? It is Bunnies into the pits. So Yarnell's in the lead by 2.3 seconds to Wolfbane. We'll see either of them pitting this lap. Try and cover themselves from the undercut from Team Ducky. So we'll see Yarnell in this lap. Same for Wolfbane, try and cover that undercut from Team Ducky. Or will it be too risky? Stay out and try and pull a bit more of a gap, and try and get the overcut on him, or do you have to protect that undercut? That will be the strategy idea that's going through both of Wolfbane and Yarnell's heads. Yarnell comes in the pits to try and cover that undercut, but Wolfbane continues on. So what does it, so that means Marique will continue on as his teammate. Let's see. Does Team Ducky get the jump? He does. Jake Marsh is into the pit. So that means the undercut from Team Ducky has been powerful enough to keep him ahead of Jarno, or has it? Yes, it has. So Wolfbane P1, 7.3 seconds back to Marique in second. He's got 3 seconds back to Team Ducky. Will we see Wolfbane in this lap, or will we try and extend it a bit longer, as the gap is constantly falling between him and F1 Marique? I think Wolfbane will come in this lap and try and try and protect himself from Jarno, try and jump him. Jarno's currently 13 seconds behind Wolfbane. So will we see Wolfbane into the pit lane? We don't. That is Wolfbane not going in. Does that mean he's going to try and stay out? But that's F1 Marique in. So does that mean Wolfbane's going to get the overcut on Team Ducky and Jarno? So the gap between Wolfbane and Jarno is closing. 12.985, 12.6. The gap between Wolfbane and Team Ducky is 9.9, 10. So is Wolfbane pulling it out of the bag now? So that means he's pitting this lap, trying to extend his lead as much as he can. We'll have to wait and find out. .8 seconds the gap between Team Ducky now and Jarno. No, not Jarno, Wolfbane. 9.9. 9.8. So the gap is closing. Now it's extended again. 9.8. Now it's closing again. 9.8 again, 9.8. Will we see Wolfbane in this lap, or will he continue? And I expect he'll continue on, but no matter, I'll probably be wrong. And I was correct, he is continuing on. 2 seconds separate Team Ducky and Jarno. 9 seconds from Jarno to Marique. 4 seconds between Marique and Sewison. And 1.1 seconds between Sewon and Jake Marsh, who's got 24.9 seconds back to Bunnies. Dreadful race for the Nexus team this season. This race, them being in last place and one of their drivers retiring. Best team. Ferrari seems to be doing well at the top. Oh, that's Wolfbane off into the gravel. That is not good. I mean, that's gonna let Team Ducky closing loads. Now down to 4 seconds now. 3 seconds down from about 10 seconds. So does that mean Wolfbane just lost his chance of trying to get the overcut on Team Ducky and Jarno? So that means he's going to have to pit this lap and try and fight his way back up. That's why I think they'll be thinking, I'm going to have to pit this lap and try and get ahead of them on track. Or maybe when they stop again. Because Jarno's gone into the soft. Team Ducky's on the mediums. Marique's on the softs. Same as Jake. And same as Bunnies. So Team Ducky's the only one to go on the mediums. So the alternate strategy going on there for TM Ducky, and that's Wolfbane into the pits like I thought. So where will this bring him out? I think it might be just in front of F1 Marine, but I could be wrong. We'll find out. And this brings him out just ahead of the Porsche driver of Shuon and Jake Marsh in Ducky Racing. So that's 7 tenths between Jarnell and TM Ducky. Will we see a fight for the lead? Can go on. 9 seconds back from Jarnell to F1 Marique. It's a good race for the Benelux team, who are currently second and third. We've got Wolfbane in 4th place, 5 seconds behind F1 Marique, but 15 seconds back from the lead. I think not pitting when TM Ducky did has cost him the race. Probably maybe a podium, maybe even a race win. You never know. We've got not 7 tenths between Shuon and Jake Marsh. That's going to be hotting up for P5 in the race. And I think Bunnies has got P7 set in the race. They've got 50 seconds to the lead, but 33 seconds to Jake Marsh. Oh, and that's into the gravel for Bunnies. Not good at all. But it's 3 tenths now between. Oh, and that's a bit of a wiggle there for TM Ducky. Is that going to let Jarnell through? It is. Going down the main straight. We see Jarnell using his overtake, but TM Ducky has gotten on, so he's going to have to concede the position to Jarnell. So it's Jarnell P1, TM Ducky P2, Marique P3, Wolfbane P4, and that's Jake Marsh past Shuon, and that's Bunnies in P7. Now will we see Jarnell pull out a bit of a lead over TM Ducky? Or is TM Ducky going to conserve his tyres and try and pull out a bit of a lead? Let Jarnell pull out a bit of a lead on him, so that he uses too many of his tyres. That Jarnell's going to have to pit again, but then TM Ducky won't. Oh, and that's a bit of a Tokyo Drift style there for TM Ducky. As we see Jarnell trying to power away from TM Ducky, and TM Ducky sort of letting him. The gap staying about 2. That's the gap extending now to nearly to about 2.5 seconds. The gap is. If I was Jarnell in this position, I would push on ahead, try and put as much of the gap as I could over TM Ducky. Just burn my tyres up, hope that I can get a pit stop gap over him. And yep. So that is BBR Huber having to retire because of brake issues. That's the 2nd time running these brakes have had issues in Torpedo League. The closest gap on track at the minute is between Jake Marsh and Shuon, with Jake Marsh currently ahead of Shuon. Oh, and that's F1 Murray and TM Ducky both getting a bit twitchy coming out of that corner. Yes, very true there. The brakes just went, nah, I'm head out. Hopefully your brakes can get sorted ready for the next race next week, because I think we'd like to see more battles going on, with Marie closing in now on TM Ducky for P2 in the race. Could this be a Benelux 1-2? Or will Team Ducky try and ruin this with keep putting his Ducky Racing car in P2? I don't know, which is this 4-second lead between Team Ducky and Jarno, who's got a 2/10 lead to F1 Marik, who's in the slipstream full of overtake, not using it, going down round the outside, and that's Shuon into the pits. And Team Ducky still ahead of F1 Marik. So let's keep an eye on this battle for P2 currently. Oh, that's F1 Marik going into the back of Team Ducky, which is like Team Ducky get a bit of a gap over Marik, who's got to be careful behind him with Wolfbane closing on him. Could the strategy of Wolfbane... Oh, that's Wolfbane sending it down the inside, but going too deep. The top two are separated by only about 4/10 of a second. Can we see Wolfbane trying to go inside Renault? Oh, and that's Team Ducky off the road, being forced off by F1 Marik, who is now spun. So that's Wolfbane P2, Team Ducky P3, F1 Marik P4, Jake Marsh P5, Sean P6, Bunny's P7 with a 1-second time penalty. It's a disaster there. And I think this might have played into Wolfbane's favours to try and get this win. Because he's like Jan throwing them tyres into the garbage even after this, because he's throwing them to the wind. Good to see Jan having to go for another pit stop. Maybe promote Wolfbane to the lead. With a strategy that I thought would not work, but it seems like I've been proven wrong. But it's 4 seconds between Jarno and Wolfbane, who's got 4 seconds back to Team Ducky, and Wolfbane is finally setting the purple first sector. So we're going to see Wolfbane on the charge now for Jarno. That gap is closing. But one move down the inside, causing one driver to go off track and one driver to spin into an F1 Marik and Team Ducky, which caused Wolfbane to go from P4, being 15 seconds behind the lead, now only 3 seconds behind the lead. With 5 laps left, can we see Wolfbane throwing everything at it to try and get the win? The gap is closing 2.5 seconds now. It's looking like Jarno's front tyres are getting a bit worn, and Wolfbane has more overtake to use, which will be helpful for when he gets within that about a second to try and close that gap and try and get the overtake done. We're on lap 18 now. Oh, and that's Team Ducky having a bit of a wiggle with F1 Marik right behind him. Going. Oh, and that's a bit of a wheel touch in there. Do we see F1 Marik go through? No, Team Ducky stays ahead, or does he? And that's F1 Marik through. And Team Ducky stays third. As this but them two fighting help Jake Marsh, Team Ducky's teammate, catch up to them. And maybe could this be a 3-4 for Ducky Racing? I do not know. We'll have to wait and find out. With the gap between Wolfbane and Jarno now only 0.8 of a second. So Wolfbane is flying out on track now. And the battle for P4 is hotting up, with Jake Marsh right on the back end of F1 Marik, who's right on the back end of Team Ducky. When F1 Marik tries down the outside, and runs wide, which promotes Jake Marsh into P4. Disaster for F1 Marique. But now he's in tow of Jake Marsh. Will this help him get back up? Watch this going down the main straight, and then we'll go back and have a look on Jarno and Wolfbane. We see Jake Marsh being overtaken back by F1 Marique. I didn't see what happened there. Oh, and that's Jarno trying to get past Wolfbane, trying to get past Jarno. Yeah, and Jarno's front tyres are completely dying now. Could we see Wolfbane get the lead here? Honestly, I don't know. This could go either way. I'm not going to say anything because no matter how I'll comment, I'll curse it all and it will probably happen. Yeah, I'm not bringing the commentator's curse into this. Already at race 1. Oh, and is that Wolfbane trying to go down the inside? Thinks about it. Keeps thinking about it, but decides to pull out and try and get the best run heading down towards on the little back straight. Using his overtake now, and Wolfbane is into the lead of the race. That's Jarno right behind him, trying to get that slipstream. We see Jarno dive back down the inside to try and get the win back. Thinks about it, but then thinks better about it. Into the chicane. Jarno dives it down the inside and is back into the lead. And Jake Marsh and Marique are fighting now for P4. And is that Marique and Team Ducky is fighting for P3 currently. Oh, and F1 Marique tries to think about it going. And that's F1 Marique into P3 now. Head of Team Ducky, who's got his teammate behind him. That's Jarno back into P1 with a 10th back to Wolfbane. Will it be a last lap, last corner lunge? Ooh, that was quite a dangerous move across there for Jarno. Ooh, good that going onto the grass excursion there just for a little bit have hampered Wolfbane's chance of getting a win. Probably not, and that's Jake Marsh ahead of Team Ducky now, who's into the barrier. Eek. Going from P1 down to P5. Not a great race for Team Ducky here. And Jarno's into P1. Wolfbane slightly got ahead, but Jarno got back P1. We see Wolfbane trying to dive down, go around the outside into the corner. Thinks better about it. We see him trying to use the toe and overtake going down the main straight. I probably can see that happening. Wolfbane tries to get the run around the outside. And that's Wolfbane into the lead. Ahead of Jarno. He's got Jake Marsh in P3, he's got past F1 Marique. Team Ducky in P5. Suwon in P6. Bunny's in P7. We're going to see now Wolfbane pull his finger out and try and pull out that lead. Thinks because Jarno's front tyres are dead now. So I think Wolfbane has got this one in the bag unless nothing bad happens. And say that and he just drives into the gravel. Oh dear, I may as well not say anything next time. This looks like it can be Jarno P2, Jake Marsh P3, who also runs across the gravel, which allows F1 Marique to get back into P3. I think this is going to be a battle to go right to the flag. Oh, it's already a 1.5 second gap for Wolfbane over Yarnell. And do we see F1 Marie getting that P3, or will Jake Marsh ruin it by getting his Ducky Racing number 7 car into P3? As Wolfbane enters the chicane, with Yarnell 2.2 seconds behind him. And this is Wolfbane starting like 22 out of 22. This is the final lap of the race. F1 Marie's got Jake Marsh 3 tenths behind him, 6 tenths now. So we're keeping on this battle over the lap. The next overtaking opportunity probably for Jake Marsh, if you can get close enough. We'll probably go down the back straight, I think. Maybe if he's feeling optimistic, maybe a late lunge and trying to make sure he can hold it on. But if not, it'll be the back straight. If he can get close enough, that'll be. Oh, that's 2 tenths now between F1 Marie and Jake Marsh. Oh, do we see Jake Marsh going for the lunge? Going down the inside. Tries to, but F1 Marie gets the better run through the corner. We should see Jake Marsh try and get the run on him using or is it, I think F1 Marie is just a bit too far ahead. But it's Wolfbane that comes on the final corner to win the opening race at the Pacific Grand Prix. It's P2 for Yarn. That's going to be P2 for Yarnell Pacific. It looks like P3 is going to be set for Marique. And that's P3 for Marique, P4 for Jake Marsh. Is that going to be P5 for Team Ducky? P5 for Team Ducky, P6 for Stewardson, and that way Bunny's in P7. So congratulations to Wolfbane of Ferrari Driver Academy mission winner, winning the first race of the season by over 6.8 seconds to Yarnell, who drives for Benelux, followed by Marique, who for Benelux also, Jake Marsh, Ducky Racing for Team Ducky as well, P5. G1 P6 for Porsche, P7 is the final Nexus driver of Bunnies. It's been a very fun race to commentate on. This is what the season's going to be like. Sign me up, I'm up for commentating if the racing's going to be like this. Post battle to battle racing with strategy playing key. Because I thought Wolfbane was messed up the strategy with staying out so late, but it seemed to have worked with the fresher tyres. That's P7 for Bunnies. What a race it has been to commentate on. So congratulations to the winner for gaining 5 positions. So that's been first race of season 2 of Torpedo League season 5, the Pacific Grand Prix, and I'll see you next week for the next race. Thank you and goodbye.